Whew. Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties getting all of this started. Jessie is my resident technology lady, and she's not here, so I had to try to figure it out. It doesn't work well. So I am Hope, if y'all didn't know. I am not a teacher, but I do love to share the knowledge that I have with people. So I not only will be up here talking at you guys, but I do also not just want, but expect participation, okay? This is a hands-on class for you guys at home. Pendulum, you need one. This class is all about pendulums, and in order to practice with one, it's best to have one. If you don't have an actual pendulum, that's okay. You can also use awesome things like a necklace. If it gets out of there. Hello, Lynn. A necklace can be a pendulum. If you have a string and a rock, that can be a makeshift pendulum. So you do not have to have an actual store-bought one. They are a lot nicer to look at. But, you know, in a pinch, say you're, you know, up camping or hiking or something and you feel like you need to do some scrying with your pendulum or some dowsing, then any necklace, anything like that will work, okay? I do want to say that I strongly feel that a pendulum should be some kind of natural something or other, okay? So while other things will work, I do personally feel they need to be of earth. So some kind of a metal, some kind of a rock, some kind of something, you know. Let's see. And I turned this way so I could see if you guys have any questions. I hope you can hear me. I do have my mask on. I did not put the what's called microphone on because it won't hook into my phone. I have an iPhone and I don't have an aux cord jack thing. Okay, so first off, we're gonna kind of go over, I can move that, kind of what a pendulum is. We're going to also kind of go over the different materials, things like that, okay? Give me 1 second because I'm taking my shoes off. All right. Okay, she can hear just fine, perfect. And thank you. I kind of dig my shirt too. She said I love your shirt. In case you guys are wondering, it might seem like I'm just like talking to myself, but I can see the questions, so okay. I'm going to be answering them as well, or attempting to. Okay, so pendulums have been around forever. They're another form of scrying. If you guys on Samhain, I actually taught a class on scrying with, I think we did 4 or 5 different hands-on kinds. I am a huge fan of them. I feel like they are fantastic, not just for self, but for others. They're also something that you can do long distance, okay? As with any form of witchcraft, divination, spell work, anything like that that you participate in, I am huge on consent, okay? Consent is key, consent is everything. I would not presume to do something on behalf of someone else without their consent. I feel like that starts messing with free will. I'm not here to preach or get on the soapbox, but I do want to kind of say that disclaimer. I am not everyone though. So I'm not saying your practice is wrong. I'm saying in my beliefs or my thoughts, that's how I roll, okay? So I don't want to, get stuck on that, but so there's that. There are ways that we're going to go over what a pendulum is, okay, what it isn't, because a lot of people ascribe things to a pendulum that are not things that pendulums do, So we're going to go over both of those. We're going to go over how to pick a pendulum for you, how to program your pendulum, and then we're going to do some quick practice with them. We're going to do for personal and for others, okay? And then we're going to, if we have time. Okay, have a blast. Thank you for coming for a couple minutes. But if we have time, then we're going to go into a quick healing. Okay? All right. So, any questions so far?
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Is steel considered a natural substance?
Yeah, because it's made up of other natural substances, right? So I would say yes. I actually have a pendulum that's steel. Okay, so
On that, what about like man-made stones or assisted stones? You know.
such as an opalite.
Yeah. I was just
Like
reading about
what
it.
you have
I was
in your
just
hand.
reading about it and
So opalite is pretty fantastic. It is actually a natural substance
Okay.
that has a little bit of a man. It's gotten some assistance from man to make it look as pretty.
Okay.
So that is a fine line for me
Okay.
because it is a natural product,
Okay.
but for that gorgeous, pretty color and everything, that color's all man-made.
Okay.
So if opalite calls to you, use it.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all. That's,
Perfect.
if it, I wouldn't recommend it above something else or something else above it.
Right.
But
Thank you.
I think it feels like, or it's what kind of calls to you.
How
Okay.
do you feel about both?
About what?
Oh,
Bone?
Yeah.
I love bone.
Mm.
I have a
Cool.
rune set that's bone. I have a pendulum that's bone. I have
That's
a
awesome.
motorcycle.
Okay.
No, I have a lot of different bone items. So
Okay.
I'm a fan. Okay. So, oh my gosh. If I don't put these on just right, then my glasses just fog up.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So, pendulums. They say that a metal pendulum is actually the best to use. Okay. It's all about kind of energies, right? And metal tends to be attracted to different types of energies. So metal is what I have been told, and everything I've read and whatnot is best. I do have my own personal metal ones. Do I feel like they work any better? Not for me, but probably because crystals are kind of my jam. So that's what they say. Number one is the best. Then you go on to crystals and bone. Okay, so there are some stones that are a lot better for pendulum work than others. I probably would not use like a shungite or a Shiva lingam for any kind of pendulum work, because they are meant to actually block out energies, and that's not really gonna work with a pendulum, right? But pretty much any other stone I would probably be okay with. In fact, I have probably 30 pendulums of different stones. So don't look at me like yeah. Okay. So I use different pendulums for different things. Okay. You can have an all-purpose pendulum. Like there's no wrong in that way. Me personally, I have a pendulum that's for me. I have a pendulum that's for others if I want to do healing. I have a pendulum for, this type of questions and this type of questions. I have ones that I use in the light side of the year and then the dark side of the year. Like, which is overkill. Like, plain and simple, it's overkill. But that is what I like. So that's what I do. Definitely not telling you guys that you need to go buy 30 different pendulums. Just saying. So crystal and bone would be next. Crystal and bone, they really conduct and kind of get in touch with the energies a little bit differently than other things, okay? The next one would be things like a metal cage, okay? So if you've never seen these, it isn't a full metal thing. It's a cool cage that you can actually like open or elongate and put different stones in, okay? I absolutely adore these because then you can just have one pendulum. You have your metal, but then you can put your crystals in. Oh, I'm going to be working with the heart chakra. Let's go ahead and put a green aventurine in here.
Cool.
I'm going to be working with, the sacral chakra. Let's go ahead and put a carnelian in here. And so you can really, with those, you can kind of cater it to exactly what you're doing. And so I think they're pretty fantastic. And then last would probably be, wood. Wood works, and it's not bad to use or anything, but it also does not pick up the energies as well. Okay. I guess last would be man-made stuff, but yeah, wood's down there, which I have a couple of wood ones that I made myself. So, and you don't have to spend a bunch of money on your pendulum. Oh, there was a question. There was a question, then someone else hopped on, so now I don't know what it was. Sorry, you guys. Ooh, where can I get one of those metal cages? I know that there have been some here. I don't know that we have any right now, but you can, if you want one, we can probably order some in. And they're usually like $6 to $9. You can make them yourself if you're a wire wrapper. You can actually make them yourself pretty easily. I know that you can order them on like Amazon. I'm not sure of prices there or of authenticity, but I know you can. So I hope that helps. I should probably have seen if we had some upstairs.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah. They're pretty fantastic though. I know my personal one's up in the reader room. So anyway, so there's that. So when it comes to the rope, the string, the chain, whatever, I usually use metal or like hemp, something like that. But if all you have is sewing thread and you really want to, have a session, then use it, right? I'm not a big fan on telling people that they need to go spend all this huge amounts of money to do their craft, because you can definitely do divination on a budget.
Yeah.
And I'm cheap and poor, so guess what? I know this for a fact. Okay, so I have a bunch of different ones here. I have a really pretty green aventurine. I have this citrine. Well, it's actually a golden healer. And what that means is it's an amethyst that's been heat treated. And then I have a couple of amethysts, a tiger's eye, and a peach moonstone. Okay, so peach moonstone. I would use this one if I were delving into any kind of mystical things, dreams, things like that, okay? If I'm doing something about good fortune or prosperity, something like that, I would definitely use the citrine. Self-love or your higher consciousness, I would probably use one of the amethysts. And then any kind of protective anything, as well as healing, I would probably use the tiger's eye. Today, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the green aventurine though, just because I want to work on the heart chakra.
There's one under your desk.
I know.
Oh, just be nice, monkey toes.
And then I got this one.
Is that hematite?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was pyrite at first, and then I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, so it's hematite, and it's
Good for what?
a heavy bugger and stabby. So
Stabby.
hello. So you have your metal and your stone, because that's what hematite is. It's a metal stone in this one. I would probably use that for grounding, protection, some healing aspects, things like that. Okay. All right, so now, real quick, any questions on types of pendulums, anything like that?
Okay, so do they need to be balanced?
I was gonna ask.
What do you mean?
Well, like these are probably balanced because the center line is the same as the tip.
Well, okay, so like this is not balanced. right?
Well, and that's what I was curious about. Yeah.
And I would totally use it,
Yeah.
even though it's not balanced, just because you can say, okay, so I would say like, this is going to be kind of what I'm going to be watching is this one right here. And it would work just as well.
Okay.
So if you tie a piece of wood on a stick, or I mean on a piece of rope, you know, it might be like one side is weird, whatnot, wonky. It's not going to matter.
It just needs to be weighted. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would go to a health food store, and a friend of mine would do like a form of kinesiology on me if I'm
Okay.
looking for supplement.
Yeah.
And she would use a pendulum. And I think she had like a washer on a piece of string.
Uh-huh.
wow.
Yep. That's an old school
That's
way,
awesome.
and it works just fine. So you asked what he had asked. He asked if the pendulum needed to be balanced. And then I said, not really, because even if your stick doesn't need to be like this, it could be like this, whatnot, just as long as you know what you're looking for. So, and then he told a story about one of his friends that had like a washer on a string. Yeah. Hey, Ash. So, sorry, I always forget to repeat the questions, but I will try better. Okay, any other questions about types? Oh, you look like you had your hand halfway up. Like maybe I want to ask a question, but I don't know. Okay, all right, so what we're gonna do now is what's called programming, okay? So anytime you get a new pendulum, anytime you have cleared your pendulum and are going to use it again, anything like that, you need to program your pendulum, okay? I recommend for cleansing wise to cleanse it every time you use it. I just feel like, you're not gonna bake a cake and then use that dirty dish again, right? You're gonna clean it.
Yes.
Kind of the same thing. Take care of your tools. Cleanse them in your way.
Okay.
Some people like to cleanse with smoke from sage or palo or incense. Some people like running water. Some people like salt, moonlight. It's totally up to you, right? Some people have just like, what did you call it? And I'm not meaning to call you out. How you cleanse. It's like your intention.
I reinvigorate.
That's it. Reinvigorating it.
I breathe into it.
Oh,
There you go.
that's cool.
So there's all kinds of different ways to cleanse, and it really is up to you. Though keep in mind what your pendulum is made out of. If it's made out of metal, you're probably not going to want to put it in like salt water because it's probably going to rust,
Yeah.
right? If it's a malachite one, please don't put it in water because it becomes toxic,
Oh. Okay.
If I understand the pendulums right, you pick one that you are most drawn to, also keeping it with you. Yep. So that's one way. But anytime you go to use it, if you have cleansed it, which like I said, I feel you should, then you'll need to reprogram it. Okay. So to reprogram it, there are a couple of different ways. So the first way, like, I didn't see the name. I'm sorry, I didn't see your name. But like she just said, is basically when you're picking a new one out, okay, you don't pick one out. You're not like, ooh, that one's the prettiest or that one's the shiniest. You use the energies and what picks you, if that makes sense. So upstairs we have a thing where they're all hanging and there's enough space underneath that you can actually run your hand very slowly underneath without touching any of them, and they'll move. You'll know which ones are attracted to your energies. I think that's a huge test of it, okay? And then keep it with you. Like, let it get your essence in it. If it's going to be for you,
Yeah.
okay? If it's one that you're going to use for others, I think that would be fine. But before you use it for someone else, you need to reprogram it. Clear it and reprogram it, okay? So that's the first one when you're picking a new one, kind of. Okay, when you have cleared it and now you're programming it to get ready to use it. Okay, I like to hold it in my hands. Okay, I usually have, you know, either all of it in one hand or between the both hands, and I just kind of put my intention into it. So my intention is always to kind of, you know, divine what I need to know. I'm not using it for harm. I always make sure that's clear. That's just something that's important for me. And that's kind of what I do. Sometimes I speak out loud. Sometimes I just in my head. Okay. But make sure you hold it, and you'll kind of know, right? With most things, you'll kind of know when it feels like it's ready. Okay. So I'll go ahead and give you a second to do that. Thank you for calling the Hidden Sage and Sunset. This is Hope. How can I help you? We do. We have Bradley here today, and he is going to be here until probably until close. And he is he's a tarot reader, pretty fantastic, and he charges, let's see, $1 a minute, so $20, 20 minutes. Well, no, we usually book by like, oh, I only need a 30-minute reading, or I only need an hour reading, or whatever, right? But that's just kind of how the charging scale goes. Yep. Yeah, walk-ins are greatly appreciated. I'm pretty sure he's open for the rest of the day. You know, I don't know if he lets you take notes during the reading. You know what? Would you like to talk to him? Hold on one moment. I forgot the work phone was down here, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So now once you have done that, we need to kind of get our signals, right? You need to know what your yes is, what your no is. This is if you're not using a mat. Okay, so you have a mat. I saw you pull it out. You don't really need your yes and no that way if you're using a mat, because it actually has the yes, the no, rephrase, all of that on it. If you are doing it without a mat, you do need to program it to tell you your yes. So what I do is I make sure my cord, string, chain, whatever is not bunched up or anything in any way. And then I like to drape my little bead or whatever is on top over my finger, and then I pull down just to make sure, and make sure it is a stationary piece, right? So you see how it's not moving? Well, it is moving.
Doesn't matter which hand.
Whatever you're most comfortable with. And then I put my other hand underneath. Okay, so, and you can always press the tip into your hand so that you can kind of keep it steady, right? Can you guys see what I'm doing? Sorry. Okay, and then what I do is I basically take a deep breath and I say, show me yes. You guys can, on camera, I know you can clearly see my hand is not moving. Well, now it just did, but so mine went clockwise. It went clockwise for yes. So now you stop it, okay? Do the same thing. Make sure your chain isn't bunched or anything. Make sure it's stopped. Put your hand underneath and say, show me no. And it should do something completely different. I hope you get. Sorry, it's a little weird. I like to usually put my elbow or something on the table. So see how mine's going back and forth? Anything other than those would kind of be a rephrase, okay? Or an I don't understand, or I can't answer it this time. I always like to, if I ask a question and it doesn't give either of those, a yes or a no, then I always give it another chance by rephrasing that question, right? So you may be asking a good question that it wants to answer, but the way you're asking it is not how it wants you to, basically, okay? So now you have your yes and your no. So the next thing that I do is what I call a qualifying question, okay? So a qualifying question is just something you know the answer to, just to make sure that it is programmed to you, right? So go over, make sure your chain is not in any way twisted or whatnot. All the way down, right? Over your hand, make sure it's stopped. Well, mine stopped. Okay. And then I usually say something like, is my name Hope? Am I a girl? Something like that. So am I a girl? Why, yes. Yes, I am. So, I don't like that I had to move it. Okay, let me get it stopped. Am I a girl? So it's going clockwise, it's telling me yes. That's kind of how you know it's programmed to you, okay? This is for personal use, what I just did for you, okay? Or what I just showed you, for personal use. From there, you can ask it questions. Don't ask it open-ended questions like, what year am I going to die? Oh, you can see when I'm on the table? I really appreciate you telling me that, because I feel like every time I move it, like it's harder for me to keep my hand still. So thank you. So you can't really ask it open-ended questions, right? It is a tool that is not that deep, if that makes sense. Pendulums are really great for beginners, and exactly what I'm showing you is why, right? So make sure that wherever you're at, wherever you're doing it, that you feel stable, like yourself. So like I was just saying, I hate having to raise my arm because don't want to even have the semblance of my arm or my hand moving, right? Like I'm moving it, because I don't like that. So I usually have, my arm down. I can do it the other way, but, and make sure you're in a place that you feel safe. Because emotions are energy, and energy is what these read, right? So if you are kind of, feeling unsafe, frightened, unhappy, things like that, it's going to pick up on that, and it's probably going to give you a little bit crazy reading. Okay. So from there, I generally, if it's a thought out time, a thought out session, okay, I actually will have questions already in mind. You don't have to do that. Like I said, the analogy of, I guess it wasn't an analogy, but a story of, you're on a hike and you decide you want to do a session, you probably don't have that thought out, right? Patience is key, especially when you're starting out. I know a lot of people that were super drawn to pendulums, and then they tried it once and it didn't work as well as they thought it should, and so they have never picked it up again. Okay? Maybe it didn't give them the answers that they wanted. Right. So I love the pendulum. It's such a great tool. I agree, Ash. Didn't you come to like my first or second class on pendulums? I teach this class a lot because it's a great beginner step. Anyway, so don't give up on these guys. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is a little bit of a practice. Okay. So you can either think of questions. You are welcome to ask them out loud. You are welcome to ask them in your head, because it's about intentions, right? But I want you to kind of like program and then ask your questions and see how it goes. Okay. I do tell people to stay away from things like, am I going to die next week? One, you don't really want to know the answer to that. I'm sorry, but no one wants to know the answer to Two, well, there, in my opinion, there's probably like different, timelines, things like that.
Sure.
So, anyway, I don't feel like you could get the greatest answer for things like that. I do think things like, am I on the right path in my business? Am I on, am I doing everything that needs to be done for my kids or whatever, You can get super deep without asking about death or marriage or, things like that. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes, all you guys at home, as well as you guys. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go ahead and try it. If you want to, there are Palo and incense sticks. So if you want to kind of start over and reprogram the whole thing, you can clear it out with that or with breath or whatever. Or you can just go right into it if you think you're ready. Okay? Can we close this door for class again? Or no? Ash, yeah, so I am fine with people being here. I do like social distancing as much as possible. And I require these. And I know they suck, but if you want to be here when I'm teaching a class, you got to wear a mask. So.
Where's the pause button?
Oh, right there. Do you see in front of the tree thing in the bowl?
Okay.
And the lighter should be right there too.
Okay.
So what if you hold another stone in your hand? Is that?
We'll actually get into that.
Okay. All right.
You're going ahead of me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to have you ask it one more question and then. think it's pretty great that we get to teach these classes, that the people that can come, and the people that can't can still watch it at home. I think that's amazing. I love it. Not a big fan of technology, but this is something I do enjoy. There was a question on, or something, someone said on here, I think it's great that you're teaching these classes and that I can watch at home. All right, so.
Would you consider it not moving one of those rephrase?
A rephrase, yep. So now what I do is at the end of a session, okay, just like with anything else, you wouldn't just, leave your cards out scattered anywhere, whatever. I always close the session by telling my pendulum, thank you, okay? Showing gratitude to your tools in whatever way you choose, right? I think is a big thing, it's my opinion. But so I always say thank you. So that's basically me closing out my session. Okay. Any questions about just programming and the simple questions? Yeah.
Can you have different programmings per different pendulum?
So the question is, can you have different programmings per different or on one pendulum?
Yeah.
So like 3 on one.
Yes or no.
Is that what you're asking?
Like my yes, no, maybe is something, something, something for this pendulum. And my yes, no, maybe for this pendulum is something different.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So once I clear this guy out, which I'll actually do in just a second, I could come back and reprogram him, and it could be a completely different thing with this one.
Okay.
That's why I say you need to reprogram every time, because my yeses and my nos are not always going to be the same.
Okay.
They're just not. My yeses tend to be close to the same, but my nos have been all over the board. So, so yeah, you could definitely have different answers or different cues, I guess. Yeah.
So, I'm just learning, but and because of what I've seen in the past, I would consider this like a form of kinesiology.
Mm-hmm.
But in your mind, you could be saying, no, I don't want that to happen, I don't want that to happen, I don't want that to happen. The pendulum says yes, yes,
Right.
yes. So, am I fighting it, or is
Yes,
it-
so-
okay.
So the question is, if you ask your question, but in your head you're like, no, you're fighting it. Like, does it give you the correct answer, whatnot, basically. So I tell everybody, if you're not ready to hear the answer, don't ask the question. Because in your head you're like, no, the answer's no, but your pendulum's telling you yes, right? I'm gonna go with what my tools are telling me.
Be open-minded and
Yep.
The non-biased
Yep.
tools. Yeah.
And then I also tell people to make sure that they are focused. So anytime I do a reading or any kind of a healing, anything with any medium, I kind of tell them, clear everything from your mind and just think about this one thing right now. Like, don't worry about, I got to pay the babysitter and I got to go grocery shopping and I got to get gas and I got to get all that out of your mind. It's easier said than done, but I promise it can be done. And just make sure that you are completely focused and your intentions are completely focused on this. Okay. Oh no, please don't fall. Oh no. Hi, be right back. I keep forgetting that it doesn't slide
Oh yeah.
because of the mat.
Right.
Okay, let's try this again. Without breaking stuff this time. Okay, so I went over and I got Paulo, which I probably could have just asked one of these guys to go get for me, but I am me, so whatever. Thank you for picking those up.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I am going to take Paulo and clear this guy. So if you don't know what Paulo is, it's sacred wood. It's pretty fantastic. It's a clearing agent just like sage. If you like sage, cool beans, use that. I personally don't like the smell of sage as much. This smells like a burning Christmas tree, and I love it.
Yeah, so
So,
good. Wow.
you don't even have to touch it. And lots of smoke. So I will hold my pendulum in there or run it through or whatever, as much as I feel is necessary, okay? I haven't used this guy very much, so I don't think he's gonna take a whole lot of cleaning. But since I'm going to be swapping him out, I'm going to clean this one while I'm at it, so I can go ahead and program this for the next step. Okay, do you guys want to clean yours, or you don't have to, but if you want to, it's here.
If you clean it, you have to reprogram it.
Yep, and we're doing a different step, so you might want to reprogram it. There you go. I guess I can give you this to pass along as well, just in case. Okay, so now is a good time if you're at home and you're following along that you clear, cleanse, and get ready to open a new session.
That lighter was like really.
Really intense.
Yeah. Like,
So you don't even need to hold the polo that close. Does he have a lot of ash on him?
yeah, kind of. So it just.
Yeah, so just tap him.
I love this stuff.
Me too.
The first time I smelled it, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I understand this.
Yeah. Huh?
Is that enough?
Yeah. Any smoke is enough. Yeah. So then just, you can either put him like hanging over the side or, yep. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do one that's a little bit more in depth. You had asked about what if you're holding a crystal or something like that. Okay. So I am a big fan of putting things together. Okay. So, I would not ever put two stones that fight against each other, right, together. So that's going to just give you a crazy reading. Probably, actually, it will just not give you a reading, if that makes sense. So I swapped over to the Golden Healer, okay? And I am going to actually just have the pendant from my necklace, which is a labradorite. Ooh, he shines beautiful. Okay. Sorry. In my other hand, okay?
Okay.
The reason I'm doing this is a healing stone. This is a healing stone. Okay.
Okay.
I want to specifically ask questions that have to do with health and healing.
Yeah.
Okay. I do know a lot of people that will sit at a table and maybe they'll just have all their different stones chilling right with them. Okay. Because of all those different energies. Right. Okay. I would definitely say, like, I'm not going to try to use healing with my ruby and zoisite because it's not a healing stone, you know. It's a more of a mystical stone. So, yeah, so I'm going to do something for healing. So once again, hold your pendulum. Program it. Let it know your intentions. Let it know what you want it to do. You have rocks with you?
I might.
Oh, all right, good. That actually makes my mama heart happy.
What I always carry with me.
Which one?
Taylor.
Okay. But like, even if you have you have a ring with a moonstone in it, right? Is that what it is?
I'm not quite sure. This is like a shell, I think, but this is a labradorite.
Yeah.
So that, well.
So you have stones with you.
Yeah.
I have like all these different bracelets
That's
that
not going
have
to
stones.
affect it necessarily.
Yeah.
Will this, since it's on my hand, affect it?
It could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just because all the different stones have different energies, and that's why they resonate for people.
Right.
But you have your stones, so if you wanted to do something with healing or like,
Do you know what that is, by chance? Like a shell?
yeah, it actually looks like a mother of pearl shell,
Right.
which would be great because that's a mystic thing, which would go with your opalite, which is
Okay.
a mystic thing.
Okay, cool.
So if you wanted to ask questions
Yeah.
about, higher powers or this or that,
Okay.
there you go.
Awesome. I will do that.
Do I?
So I have turquoise here, and I believe this is red coral.
Okay. Yeah. And what's your?
It's a amethyst heart. So
Okay. So what is your pendulum?
my pendulum is the green.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what you
Green aventurine.
Okay.
So you actually have in your hand, you have 4 of the chakras right there. Because you have your purple heart, that's your crown chakra, your higher consciousness, right? And then you have your turquoise, which would go with your throat chakra for speaking your truth. You have your green aventurine in your pendulum, which is your heart chakra, and then you have your red coral, which is your root chakra, right? So keep you grounded. So I would say that anything that has to do with any of those, so speaking your truth, higher powers, things like that, you would be good to go with what you have there. Do I think it's absolutely necessary to have all of these different things? No. Do I enjoy them? Yes. I do. I really enjoy mix and matching things. So like if I do like a tarot reading, maybe I'll have you pull a rune and I'll have you do a crystal reading all at the same time. That's kind of what I enjoy doing. So, all right. So once you have him programmed again, right? Think of what you're going to do. So this time have not just sporadic questions, right? But let's do a kind of a train of thought. So I'm going to do a healing or health one, right? So I'm going to have my labradorite over here. I'm going to have my citrine right here. Well, my golden healer. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to train myself to make sure I say golden healer, just because a lot of things have changed about citrine. So, so I would ask it, you need your yes and your no, right? So you, once again, make sure there's no anything in your chain, kinks or whatnot. Show me yes. All right. And then once you have your yes and your no, ask it your qualifying question, right? Something you already know the answer to. All right, that was confident. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm going to do something that is for healing or health, right? That's why I have these 2 stones that I chose specifically for this type of reading. So I would start out with, I don't know, something simple like, am I healthy? Or no, am I sick, right? Because you know the answer to that. I'm actually going to rephrase that because that did not like it. Okay, while you guys are working on this, I'm going to kind of talk about how you can do personal readings for yourself as well as readings for others, okay? If it kills you guys' concentration, like, just let me know and I'll shut up. But I don't want to run out of time, if that makes sense. So, reading for yourself is actually super simple. That's why I recommend these to everyone, right? Reading for others can be a little more difficult because you have your energies trying to be the conduit for their truths. And with yourself, you know, you can meditate or get into a space where you can blank out and just, you know, focus on what you're trying to do. There's no guarantee you can do that with someone else, right? With that being said, it is absolutely possible to read for others, okay? And it's actually kind of fun and enlightening, you know? So basically, just like in tarot, when you go get a tarot reading, right? You have your reader. They're the ones that are, you know, kind of using their energies to get the answers. And then you're there and you're the querent. You want the answers. So you will basically, if you're the reader, right, you will program to a yes and no to you, just like you had just done, right? But then you also have to add their energies in there. So you would go through it all again with the programming, getting their energies from them. Keep your yes and no, okay? When you come to the qualifying question, you will ask two. You will ask one for you, and then you will ask one for them. You will hold the stone for them, but instead of your energies under here, you're going to want their energies. So you can have them hold their hand. You can have that way. It doesn't really matter. I've done long distance readings where I just have a picture, okay? And sometimes it works really. I would say 9 times out of 10, it works really, really well. Okay. So there are different ways you can do that. I would definitely caution and make sure that they are aware that you should not go into certain things such as death. Because no one ever wants to hear that, right? Never, ever, ever. So same concept as when you're reading by yourself or for yourself. They will be the one that actually out loud asks the questions, and you are just the conduit, okay? So you are the one that gets the answers for them. They do not always want to hear these answers, okay? But just make sure that you maintain confidence in yourself. I would say not to, you know, leave this class right here and go read for someone else. I wouldn't. I would say, you know, work on it with yourself a little bit first. So that's actually what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you clear and reprogram. Okay. And pair up. So, because you can do this without having to touch or be, you know, right in each other's faces. I would like you to read for each other. So maybe you two and you two, or you two and you two. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never like done it like that, like not touched it with the flame.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
If you hold it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the smell.
There you go. While they're clearing, does anyone have any questions?
What kind of motorcycle you got?
What kind of what?
Motorcycle you got?
Motorcycle? I don't have a motorcycle.
You said you had a motorcycle.
There was a motorcycle that went by earlier.
Oh yeah, no, there was a,
Yeah,
yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, the sound was going back. If I had a motorcycle though, I would probably have like an 87 shovelhead. So a Harley with a shovelhead engine. I actually had a cat whose name was Shovelhead.
Oh my
And everyone's
gosh.
like, that's a weird name. I'm like, that's because you don't know about bikes.
Cats.
I wish I had a motorcycle.
I like to have a motorcycle.
Yeah. Doug and Jesse used to have motorcycles.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Cats have been really weird with me.
Yeah?
I don't necessarily know that you can necessarily. I don't know. They
Thank you very much.
show up at them all the time. Following me. Okay.
All right, so what I would do is I would say who is going to be the querent and who's going to be the person giving answers first.
I'll read her.
Okay, so you would program. So if you're the one that's going to be reading and you're going to be asking the questions, program yours for both of you first.
Okay, so I program it to me. So
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be the one that's going to read for her.
Right, if that's what you're doing.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
So then you will program that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes and no.
And then, yep, you'll get your yes and no. And then you will hand it over
Okay.
so that your energies can go in. Try to blank your mind. Let your energies, what you are trying to accomplish, go into your pendulum. Okay?
Show me yes.
And I'm actually going to, if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to turn this around so they can see what you guys are doing. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Everybody okay with that?
Are you guys okay with them?
Okay. Okay. Sorry if there's a little earthquake. I apologize.
Show me no.
So I don't know if you can see, but they are kind of.
Am I do no? Is that my yes
Who's
no
gonna
are
read first?
consistent with
You're
okay.
reading?
Okay,
Okay, so go ahead and give it your
to you.
pendulum down because you're not going to use him yet.
I'm getting a little attracted to this thing.
So we program this
Huh?
from our energy or do us?
Yeah, so I want your energies in it as well.
So,
Okay.
so I did my yes and no, and then show them her.
No.
Oh,
So you have your yes and no. Did you see what the yes and no were?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what they are now.
Okay, so now.
And the reason that there's only one set of yes and no is because you don't want to trying to say your yes and your yes.
Okay.
You just have the one set, and then that way the person that is bringing the answers forth, the reader, right, will be the one that will have the yes and no attached to them.
Okay, so she's just in doing it with her, what her intentions are,
Yep.
her energy.
Basically.
Okay.
And so hold it for 5 seconds, hold it for 20 seconds, do what you feel until you feel it's ready, and then hand it back.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, so, okay.
So now your intentions need to go into it because he's reading for you.
Okay.
Then she'll ask, she comes up with the questions, she's gonna ask her own questions,
Mhm.
but she says them out loud and then I just hold on and let's see what it does, or do she tells them out loud and then I say it again?
So she would ask it out loud. Her hand is under
Her
it,
hand's under it.
and
Okay.
yours is holding it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here we are. Okay. I'll get it stable and over here.
I get through this
I
relapse.
have to think of a question. Thinking of questions hard,
Yeah.
you know, because you got to know how to say it. Okay.
But remember, if you get a rephrase, anything like that, do try it again. Don't just pass on.
Okay.
Try that question again in a different phrasing, okay, before you choose to just skip it.
Will I get through this relapse? Is this relapse on the Anderson?
In my head. Mhm.
It's for you.
Did it give you a yes or a no?
It really didn't move.
Rephrase.
I did.
Oh, maybe it's not time for you to know that answer. But if you want to, if there's another way you can rephrase it, try it again.
Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Do you have another question?
No, that'll do it. All right.
Okay, so now yours is clear. So now you program yours for you. Put your intentions in it. Show me yes, show me no. Ask your qualifying question, right?
I did that.
Okay, and now hand it over so his energies can be in it because it needs to answer his questions.
Ooh.
I have a funny question for you.
Okay.
Do you mind if I breathe on it?
Sorry.
Now, I'm
Will I have a wrong answer?
Cool.
Let's go.
Okay, now do you want to swap and you get your energies in it, your yes, your no, your qualifying question, let her get her energies and then ask.
I like yours. Oh, that's cool.
You don't want your hand under it,
I have several different.
You don't have
sounds
to.
in the same style.
but that's generally how I teach it.
I don't know if I wish.
I love your pendulum, by the way.
Yeah, we're just talking about
Oh, thank you.
I have one that's like that, but it's creative entry.
Shows
Nice.
nice.
I love creative entry.
You might have to ask again. Started trying to, but
that's pretty much.
Yeah.
you changed its mind for some reason.
I sat down back and forth.
Yes, that's what I said.
Please show me. No.
Okay. So that's a good one. Yeah, that is cool. That's good. Okay.
It wants to try to say yes.
Well, Stephen and I reconcile
But
our
then
relationship.
There it goes, see? Yeah, it tries to say yes, but then it goes
Yeah.
side to side, because my yes is a counterclockwise, and that's been working throughout this whole time. And then my no is a clockwise, and that's been working for me ever since. That's cool. See, it wants to go back and forth, not really. That's cool.
Let me try a different question.
Will my dad's health due to
You're very welcome, Sherry.
Can I expect to be moving next month?
Could you rephrase it, Bradley?
Yeah.
There's really no way to rephrase this question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna ask it your name.
Sure.
Bradley, do you know what the yeses and nos are on that one?
Um,
Did you see that beforehand?
he mentioned it, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Ever since I've used this, on every one that I've done so far has been counterclockwise for yes and clockwise for no.
Cool. Okay.
And it's pretty, it shows good, you know.
And then icon along the
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah, and then you break it.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to hold it for a little bit again and then,
No, I feel like it's there.
Okay, one more question, and then we're gonna move to the next section.
Is this new relationship with Sunny help me?
That's pretty much a definite.
I already knew that.
Is that a yes or a no?
Is it
No.
I was gonna say, I didn't know your yeses and nos.
It's a no.
Okay. So while
Very vigorous now.
while they're finishing, go ahead and clear your.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
sure.
for that. I appreciate that.
I just have some qualifiers. Is my name Bradley?
okay.
And did it say no?
No, it
No, it
said
said yes.
yes, but very weakly.
Yeah.
It's like maybe.
It's
Can you go by something else
it's
more?
really been going,
Bradley by day.
you know, good.
So I'm fine.
So start clearing these out real quick, so we can go to the next section. Okay, you guys, small earthquake again. Sorry. Oh, it had spots, and now I can't see them anymore.
Let's see here. Oh, I see. Oh, this one comes this way.
Oh.
1, 2. Okay, ready? And there you are.
Ta-da! Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. Hello again. All right, so looking time-wise, we have enough time for one or the other of the last two things that I want to teach you guys. So I'm going to, everybody at home and everybody here, I would like you to kind of vote. So one is how to do chakra work. So how to see if the chakras are aligned or not, and with your pendulum, okay? Or how to do a long distance healing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let all of you guys vote. I want to teach you guys what you guys want to know. Okay?
Long distance healing.
Okay.
Okay, we have a chakra, we have a long distance healing. What would you prefer?
Chakra.
No, don't put me in this place. No, I'm open for whatever you guys want. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me.
I'm taking the votes on here too, sorry.
Oh, are you? Okay. Okay, all right, yeah, let them decide. I don't want to.
There you go, that's fair.
You're packing a blade. I don't want to get
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to get
Utility there.
in trouble here.
That was a really stunning.
Oh, thank you very much.
He's probably gonna have to make a decision. Cause that's
It's a little, yeah, it is a
Tied
little,
up.
yes, yeah.
that's everybody but you. You have to make a decision.
Oh.
We are literally tied. Chakra and long distance healing.
I am told that I need to do long distance healing.
Okay.
Sorry.
We are learning long distance healing, you guys. I will skim really quick on chakra. We're not going to go deep into it,
Okay.
and we're not going to do a practice of it, but I am going to at least skim it, okay? So, chakra healing, I would use either a neutral stone or a different stone for each chakra, okay? Or one of the cage ones where you can just easily open, plop it out, plop it in, okay? With each of your chakras kind of have a vortex, they go one way. And if they're going the opposite way, they're kind of misaligned.
Okay.
Sometimes, they're supposed to be straight up and down your body. Sometimes, they're over here. Hey, they're misaligned, right? So if your pendulum, you do not need to really program it anything. I do say, let's, please help me check out the chakras, let's see what needs to be done, what not. And I will ask that and put my intention of that in my pendulum. I always do that. Okay. But you don't need to ask it, show me yes, show me no, or ask it any qualifying questions. Okay. Just because, like I said, the chakras have their own energies. We're going to put that guy down because I just accidentally put a knot in him. Okay. So you would then hold it over where your chakras would be. You obviously cannot do this on yourself. So this is for helping someone else. Okay. So say you want your third eye. Okay. Your third eye is right here, right? So you would hold it over the third eye. If it goes counterclockwise, it's aligned. It's how it's supposed to be. If it goes clockwise, you need to work there. If it doesn't go over that chakra, go to the right, go to the left, and see if it's that misaligned. So there's a difference between being misaligned or closed, broken, if you go to your left, your right on it, and you still have nothing, first I would clear and reprogram to you your pendulum. Second thing I would say is that your chakra would be completely closed. And so then you know that it needs to be worked on. Okay. Yeah. And you can there's lots of different chants, different things that you can do to kind of help open those back up. Okay. Or realign those. So that's kind of just.
How does misalignment work? How does something get misaligned? I guess that's a deep question. Maybe.
I was gonna say there's a lot of ways something could get misaligned.
Okay. So it has just an unbalanced effect. If
Yeah.
It's not, okay.
Yep. So if it's completely closed off, you know what that is, right? So my third eye is not working; it is completely closed. Yeah. But is it not working because it's closed, or is it not working because it's over here when it's supposed to be over here? Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you're trying to find out where it is, why it is. Yeah. And the why is generally, for each chakra it's something different, but maybe you have closed your mind to your intuition, to your gifts, things like that. That's a definite way to close your third eye, or to have it be misaligned, right? Yeah. Maybe you're not feeling very confident. Maybe you need to be cleansed. Maybe you have something attached to you. Maybe you just are not doing the work, putting the work in that is needed to keep those where they're supposed to be. Okay, so there's all different things. If you guys want kind of a generic chant or a generic way to open or realign those, I am going to have you leave your email address and I'll email it to you.
Cool, thanks.
Okay. So, and then I would, like I said, use a clear quartz because that's an amplifier, because you kind of want a clear quartz is the unbiased one, right? It's not, for this one and this one or it's really it's to amplify. So that would probably be my go-to. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say real quick on the chakras. I hope that helps a little bit. That probably leaves you guys way more confused. Do you have any questions about the chakras right this second? No? Anyone on there? Mm-hmm. You can't see, but I'm smiling. I smile like you can see, but whatever. All right. Okay. So nothing came over here. So we're going to do long distance healings, which I love this whole subject, all about pendulums, but I love teaching long distance healings. Okay. Tammy, you have missed 3/4 of it. However, it will be posted on the Sage page. Nice. So you could go back and watch it. Right now we're going to work on long distance healings though. So remember at the beginning when I talked about consent? Okay. So consent is huge in all aspects of life, but in divination as well. Okay. I feel like you have to, whoever you're working on or attempting to work on, you have to have their permission. And whether that is a verbal permission or you saying, I'm going to send you some healing, then they have that conscious choice whether they want to receive it or not, right? And, you know, a lot of people that I know will say, okay, I would love that as long as it's coming from a place of wellness or good, you know, because there are people that, you know, I'm going to send you vibes, but guess what? They may not be good vibes, you know, type thing.
Wow, okay.
So, definitely if someone's ever trying to do any kind of healing work or any kind of work long distance for you, make sure that you have that caveat that, okay, yeah, you can do that as long as it's positive or good or white or whatever you choose, like whatever your adjective is for that, right? I wouldn't just say, yeah, do whatever you want, let it all come in, because then you're inviting bad things. And I'm not saying that, you know, that's going to happen. I'm just saying that you've now opened yourself up that it could happen. And just because someone has given you consent once does not mean that the next time you don't have to ask.
You ain't lying.
Okay? And like I said, that could be verbally asking or verbally telling someone, hey, I'm going to do this, or I have done this, or whatnot, and them choosing to accept it or not. It could be putting your intentions out. Okay? Just make sure that you have that, because it's not going to do what you want it to if you don't, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I do personally, let's see, what was the last one I did? Oh, my uncle. So my uncle in Florida, he actually has a brain tumor, pretty terrible one. He's had like 4 surgeries. He's actually stage 4. They gave him like 3 months to live 2.5 years ago. So he's doing pretty decent, all right? So he is of the LDS faith. I am not. But I kind of said, you know, I would like to try something. I promise I'm not trying to harm you, you know, anything like that. Is that okay? And he pretty much said, you know, do what you will. If it's, you know, and so he allowed that. So what I did was I actually had a photo of him beforehand, a photo of him.
Before he got sick?
Yeah, a photo of him after, and it was actually, I think it was after his second surgery was the photo. And then I myself, because I'm a little bit extra, I had printed up kind of a little, I'm a little extra. I had printed up a little sheet that kind of told me what he had, right? I'm one that likes to have more information, not less, even if it's sometimes too much. So I had all of those with me. Due to the fact that it was a brain cancer, I actually used a bloodstone because I kind of wanted to get toxins out, things like that. So I have the hiccups now. So program it just like you normally would, right? And in fact, right now, I'm actually going to have you all follow along. Think of someone, if you can picture them in a mind's eye that is not here, right? And think of something that you would like to do to help them. It doesn't have to be something medical. It could be, oh, my cousin here is in an abusive relationship. Oh, my friend in this state just lost her job and I would like to send healing for prosperity. You know, like it doesn't have to be something medical.
Right.
A lot of people hear long distance healing or healing and they automatically think, oh, it has to be medical.
Right.
And it doesn't. right now, I'm actually going to think of my cousin. She is bipolar. She's in Ohio, and she is having lots of issues right now. They're trying to figure out medication, things like that. And so she's deeply hurting because she doesn't understand, right? And no, I'm not going to pick up my phone and call her right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my healing, okay? And it's there.
Okay.
And then I will let her know, hey, I did this.
Okay.
And she can choose whether or not she wants it.
Nice. Okay.
Okay? So I'm assuming no one came equipped with random pictures of loved ones, you know? So just think in your mind's eye as much as you can about one person, okay? All right? So I have gone and I'm going to use this moonstone because I am trying to do a long distance. And this is a very mystical stone. It's also a stone of femininity, and my cousin is a female. So that's what I'm trying to do here, okay? So once you're programmed and ready to go, ask it your yes, ask it your no, ask it your qualifying question, okay? Everybody get to that point. I love that almost everybody that's watching has taken this class at least once. From me.
Nice.
Tell me when you have gotten to that point of having your qualifying question asked. Is everyone ready? Okay, so here we go. Consent, right? First line of defense. First thing you should ask is, will whoever it is accept this? Okay. So mine would be Amanda. So will Amanda accept this? Okay, if it's a yes, we can go on. If it's a no, that just means that person is not ready for it yet, right? So you can do a couple of things. You can close it down and try again for that person at a later time. Or you can close that one down and start a whole new session for someone else that might need it. I actually have a friend that will do basic session after session after session after session for like 3 hours long, just sending out as much healing as she can to specific people, right? Y'all have heard of like a prayer circle or whatever those are, right? There's actually pagan groups that
That's awesome.
kind of the same thing, but for long distance healings.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
So it's kind of cool.
That's
I
pretty
don't know.
cool. Yeah, just send it out there.
Yep. Yep. But so that's your first one. You now kind of have, okay, as of now, yes. That doesn't mean you have consent, right? But that does mean you've at least asked the universe if they think that this person would, right? Now, I myself like to decide, for my uncle, I wasn't going to try to, get rid of his brain tumor, because guess what? I'm not that powerful. But I did want him to have comfort, right? And so I would ask, can I send him comfort? Yes or no? Okay. Would he like material comfort? Yes or no? Would he like family comfort? Would he like a pain-free time? What kind of comfort? Because you asked this question, but there's maybe 5 different things, and so just go through all of them. And then some people pray, some people chant, some people send good vibes, some people, whatever you personally do, right? That would be what comes after. You have your yes, you have your no, you have asked the universe, you have specifically tracked down what you want to send them or how you want to help them, right? So now from there, you ask or you say, this is what I want to send. This is what I want to accomplish with it, right? Can I send this? You'll have a yes or a no. If it's a no, that could mean because, hey, they're not ready for that. That could mean, hey, you're not ready to send that yet, or something like that. Once again, don't get discouraged. Okay. So I am right now actually going to my cousin. I've made sure that I could send her something. Well, I want her to have some mental clarity. Okay. And with that, I'm going to send her some soothing for her mind. Okay. For me personally, I don't pray, but I also don't chant. I kind of just fall in the middle. And so I matter-of-factly just say, this is what I want. Okay. This is what I want her to have. I want her to have a balm over her mind that calms it down enough for her to be able to get her medications right, to function like this is what I want to do, right? Can I do this? All right? Go ahead and try. And while you're doing this, just like with everything else, make sure that your mind is open. Once you get to the point of, can I send them this? And you get that yes, look at Bradley's, it's going, okay? Don't stop it. Just let it go, okay? It might go for 10 seconds. It might go for 2 minutes. In the last class that I taught, I literally had a girl that was sitting there, and she was doing, they chose chakra over over long distance, but she was doing a chakra realignment, and she sat there, I would say probably 5 minutes before her pendulum finally calmed down. Okay. The next thing that I would say, if, you've asked if you could send it, you've asked what kind you could send, you've now sent it, right? So the next thing that you need to know is, one time going to be enough? Do I need to do this again? Okay. Once you've asked that, you'll get a yes or a no. If it's a no, cool, perfect. Do I need to do it again? Yes. Okay. You clearly can't say when. It's not going to tell you that. Do I need to do it in a day? Do I need to do it again on, let's say Saturday, on Tuesday? Do I need to do it again in 1 week, in 1 month, in whatever, time frames you want to ask, right? Sometimes you will get your rephrase or your maybe, your whatever, can't answer, right? If you do, the stronger it is on that, means you're close. But so if I said, do I need to do it next week, right? Maybe, oh, that's great. Okay, yes, I do need to do it next week. Then I could narrow it down. Oh, do I need to do it next Monday? No, next Tuesday, so on and so forth. All right, so once your pendulum has stopped from sending it to them, ask if you need to do it again. I also like to ask, before I ask if I need to do it again, was this well received? Huh?
I did that.
Yep. Was it received? Was it well received? Did it make it to the person it needed to? Whatever form of that type of question you want to ask. And then, like I said, do I need to do this again? No? Perfect. Do I need to do it again? Yes? Okay, when? And go from there. Okay, and once you have asked your questions, you found out if you need to do it again, you found out when you need to do it again, all of that. Your last thing would be to say thank you. So I tend to, hold it, give my thanks. Honestly, 90% of the time I kiss my crystals, not gonna lie, like that's my thing, So just however you would say thank you. And then you will cleanse it, right? Get everything out of it, and now you're done. So, questions about anything today? I hope you guys learned a little bit.
Oh, I loved it. Thank you so much. This is great.
I know I have a weird style of teaching, but I'm kind of a hands-on person, so.
I guess I do have a question. I live in Carlton Heights, so I live kind of far away now, but so is the online option, that's an option every Saturday?
Oh yeah, yep. So we actually started in March with our online, and so as long as it's not a make and take class,
Okay.
it is available online. So if it's a make and take or a class that you're paying for,
Okay.
but if it's a hands-on one, so that oh, we're going over pendulums. Hey, I should probably have a pendulum in hand. Hey, we're going over scrying, and I usually say in the beginning what to have with you.
Okay, good.
I feel like that's really important. So you can actually go back and you can watch all of the ones. Like I just did a runes class. Jesse just did a tarot beginning tarot class.
Great. The ones
so-
those ones are free.
yep,
Oh
yep.
my gosh, Thank you.
You're so welcome, Ash and Melanie. I hope you guys learned something.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, you can, all of these classes
Nice.
are on our
So
page.
cool.
So since March.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
There were a couple of weeks that we were unable to do it. So, because we were closed. So,
okay.
Oh, no,
but yeah.
Just accidentally put a knot in this as I was.
Yep. So,
So,
I just did the same thing here and I cannot get it undone. So.
I actually.
All right, you guys, if you don't have any questions on there, I'm going to go ahead and end this class. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it makes you want to, you know, learn some more about pendulums or work with some pendulums. Oh, I forgot, books. So I always like to give you guys book recommendations, as well as like websites, things like that. I don't really have any website ones for this, but book-wise, if you want something that you can just like throw in your purse or your backpack or your laptop bag and take with you, there's a series called A Little Bit Of, and A Little Bit of Pendulums is fantastic. You can find it at Barnes & Noble, as well as Amazon. We also carry the, at the Sage, we carry the line of them for the most part. They do sell out pretty quickly. So that's a really fantastic one. There's also another one called Pendulum Power. And Pendulum Power is a little bit more in-depth. It's probably one of those sit and study books, right? Not one of those, oh, I could put it in my bag and just quick reference. It's definitely a sit and study. We do carry that one here, and I know you can get it on Amazon. I don't know if you can get it like in, I don't know what it's called, electronic form. I know you can get it in real book form. Anyway, it's pretty fantastic, and I do recommend it. It goes over all kinds of different things. So those are the books. Melanie says, hi, Bradley. He says, just like that. Anyway, so those are my book recommendations. If you guys would like to get just like the simple chakra chant, or, you know, kind of an outline of how I go about setting up and doing a long distance healing, if you're online, you can leave your email in the comments, and I can grab it and I can email that to you. If you're here in person, I have paper and pens that I can give you, and you can write it down and I can send that over to you, okay? Okay, any other questions?
Would it be a rigid frame with a raked out front end or a soft tail?
Oh, soft tail.
Soft tail?
Totally soft tail. I follow you. What would you have if you could have one?
I'd have a nasty Triumph rigid frame raked out front end, old 60s model.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Have you ever talked to Doug about his old motorcycle?
Something pretty nasty.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, you should. Go up there and be like, I heard you used to have a motorcycle.
Nice.
Yeah. Then you guys can talk about that. All right. Anything else? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No? All right. Then I bid you adieu.
Thank you.
I want you guys all to make sure you stay safe, and if you need anything, you let me know. Okay? Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Let's not knock that over.
These